Hello and welcome to Spicy Toast Gaming and our video on the top 5 most unique champions in Path of Champions. If you enjoy the video, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Alright, so this is obviously going to be a subjective list based on my own personal experience. You might disagree on one or two of the picks, but for me, these are the top 5 most unique champions. So, starting off, I do have all the champions unlocked. I have them all at least 2 stars, and I've leveled them all up to a pretty high level. I believe my lowest level champion is Master Yi at level 15. So I have put a decent amount of time on every single champion, and every single champion at that 2 stars, which you can really get a good feel for how they play and what their overall game plan is. So starting off with Veigar, and this isn't in a particular order. It's not like the one I started off with is the least and the last one is the most. It's just top 5 as far as most unique. But for Veigar, I find that he has a very fun and unique playstyle. So while there are several other decks that revolve around offensive spells, none of them really feel the same as Veigar, because with Veigar you're completely building around your spell Darkness. So almost all of your units have some correlation to this one ability. They either are trying to increase the damage, generate more of them, or reduce the cost. And so it's very fun how the entire deck is so focused on buffing up this one card in some way or other. And it just gives you a very unique and fun playstyle, in my opinion, that really feels quite unlike all the other decks, even the other decks that also deal with aggressive offensive spells. So he's definitely one of my top 5 picks for the most unique champions. Alright, moving on, we have Evelynn. Now Evelynn is the only champion that's able to level up multiple times in a game in a controlled manner. So Gnar, he can level up multiple times, but his level up is always at the end of the round. So you can't really take use of many of the beneficial effects of getting those multiple level ups. With Evelynn, she can level up to 6 times, as long as she hasn't had units dying. And so that lets you be able to get some very interesting interactions, especially with your relics. So most of these relics, champions are only able to benefit from them once, and that's when they level up, because they're only able to do that once a match. But with Evelynn, you can do this every single round, up to 6 times, and it can be very fun and very powerful. Her star powers are also great for the multiple level ups, as every time you level up, you're buffing your entire deck, all the cards, everywhere, by 1/1 or 2/2 if you have her at 3 stars. So definitely a very unique playstyle that is quite unlike anyone else in the game. Next we have Ornn. So Ornn, 7 cost, he is a very expensive champion, the most expensive in the game, and his whole playstyle is trying to ramp and buff up one set of equipment to just a legendary massive level, and then Ornn comes on the board, copies that equipment, and uses it to end the game. So most other ramp decks are about buffing up their board, or just trying to generate many different keywords, but Ornn is just focused on buffing up one equipment, forging it, improving it, and if the person that is using it dies, putting that equipment on someone else and continuing to buff it up. And so it's very fun and interesting playstyle of constantly building towards your end goal, of then Ornn coming down, using that equipment and winning. So some people may disagree with this one, but while playing Ornn, he felt one of the most unique champions to really play in the game, and I really enjoyed that. Alright, so next we have Bard. Now Bard is kind of the epitome of RNG, or randomness. So you're putting chimes in your deck, quite like you would do puff caps in an enemy deck, and the chimes are going to come out and buff the cards in your hand, or buff your cards already on board if you have a leveled Bard. Also with Bard and his star powers, when you summon an ally with buff stats, you give it 2 random keywords, sorry. And so you're able to just always having random effects going off. You might get a lot of chimes come out, buff up your units quite a lot, or you might have a lot in your deck and nothing happens. You might get really good keywords, or you might never get like lifesteal when you really need it. So he is quite fun to play. It can be a little frustrating with that random aspect, but it is very unique, in my opinion, for champions in Path of Champions. Now the last one, and I would say probably the most unique in all of Path of Champions, would probably be Taliyah. So Taliyah is the only landmark deck in the game at the moment. This could change in the future, but for right now, she's the only one that really utilizes landmarks throughout the entire game. Ornn does summon a landmark, but you don't really do anything with it. It just sits on your board and generates keyword. But with Taliyah, you're trying to generate more of them. You're starting the game with them. Taliyah herself is copying it when she gets played. The whole deck is built around landmarks. And since she's the only one in the game that has this sort of playstyle, she definitely feels the most unique. Now when you see a landmark in a shop, you actually want to potentially buy it, whereas normally if you see a landmark, you generally want to ignore it in most situations. So Taliyah definitely feels very unique to play. Alright, so that was my top 5 list for the most unique champions in Path of Champions. If you have your own list, definitely comment down below. Let me know. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you have a great day. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching that video all the way to the end. If you did enjoy it, please like and subscribe. We're putting out multiple videos every single day for Path of Champions content. So if that interests you, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and welcome to the channel. Have a great day.